Hey guys, I'm PandaTang, and this is the semi-automatic assault rifle comparison. As usual, for both weapons I'm using the red dot sight and magnum ammo. First up is the AN-94 Abakan. The AN-94 is a 2-round burst weapon, dealing the highest damage but has the slowest fire rate. It has a fast reload rate and a low recoil, along with a low kick value. It has a good magazine size of 30 bullets, and hip firing with this weapon is generally fine. This is of course if you can actually keep your aim sight on the target as you hip fire. For long range combat, the AN-94's damage does decrease quite a bit, so this damage decrease is enough to make you shoot a few more times. This too of course relies on your accuracy. Overall, the AN-94 is a great 2-round burst fire weapon, as it does deal a good amount of damage, like you find yourself taking out multiple targets. This is at long range and can even be at close range. The biggest problem with this weapon though is that the iron sights on it are terrible. So this weapon generally requires you to have a red dot sight or ACOG sight, which also means you're missing out on the extra specs like lightweight and ammo capacity, unless of course you don't mind using the terrible iron sights. Considering it's a burst fire weapon, I've never had any problems hip firing, as this weapon generally allows you to go full auto with it, depending on how quick you press the trigger. The AN-94 in my opinion suits every playstyle, as the gun does work well in close range combat due to its high damage, but remember you have to be accurate and fast with the trigger. As for the more passive side, like the defensive people, this weapon is great at long range, as you don't really need to worry about placing all the shots in, as it's a 2-round burst fire weapon. And finally, the M16A2. The M16 is a 3-round burst fire weapon. It has the lowest damage compared to the AN-94, but has the fastest fire rate. It has a slightly faster reload rate and low recoil. However, the weapon suffers from a high kick value, particularly the vertical kick. This may mean you may not be able to get all shots in due to its vertical kick. It has the same magazine size as the AN-94 with a amount of bullets of 30. Hip firing with this weapon is basically the same as the AN-94, and for long range combat the M16 does the same constant damage, meaning this weapon will not decrease in damage over a long range combat. Overall, the M16 is a good weapon to use due to its 3-round burst fire and fast fire rate. The fast fire rate, even with its low damage, the M16 will not let you down taking down targets. And even better, the M16 does not have a terrible iron sight, allowing you to have another specialisation kit, giving this a slight advantage over the AN when it comes to iron sights. And for long range combat, the M16 will do fine, as long as you're able to apply all 3 shots onto the target, as missing these shots will be a stagger to you, due to its already low damage and its high vertical kick compared to the AN-94. And as I told you, will have the same constant damage, whereas the AN-94 decreases. In my opinion, the M16 is best suited for the mid-range player. This is because the M16 can be a bit risky at long range, as getting all the shots in will be a tough job to do, unless you are an experienced player. And as for close range combat, the M16 can be a bit risky as well due to its low damage. So having a mid-range combat person with the M16, you'll be able to put every shot in at a safe distance. As for the most recommended weapon, it's really a matter of preference, because both weapons are efficient at what they do. So all I can really recommend is what weapon is best if you like damage or fire rate. But if you're wondering what my favourite is, it's the AN-94. I just prefer the 2-round burst fire and the high damage, and I never really have any problems with this weapon. Whereas for M16, I just can never get along with it, because there's something about the M16 I just don't like, but I do know it's a good weapon, as I have seen loads of good people use it. But anyway, the AN-94, if you like power, go for it. If you like a faster fire rate weapon with a 3-round burst weapon, then go for the M16. Both weapons are exceptional, and I've seen each one dominate the battlefield numerous times. Okay, this is the end of the comparison. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, learned a thing or two about both semi-automatics. Please like, comment and subscribe.